TIFU by not telling my daughter Freddie Mercury was dead. Obligatory. This happened in 2018. I was reminded of it yesterday, which was the 30th anniversary of Freddie Mercury's death. We listened to a lot of music with the kids. Queen being the top of the list because the songs are fun to sing to. When Bohemian Rhapsody was at the theater, the older kids, 17 and 16, went with their friends to see it. This left the youngest, 12, out, so I took her myself on a later showing the same day. She is vibrating with happiness to see the story of a band she likes, and is singing her favorite Queen songs on the way there. Bicycle race, waiting in line at concessions for popcorn. No one else is at this theater, so flash to really belt out the chorus to hear the echo. Us both trying to remember the correct order to Bohemian Rhapsody while we sit in our seats waiting for the movie to start. It's that beautifully wholesome kid excitement. The movie starts. We stop singing and settle in. She is enthralled with the ups and downs of the band members. When Freddie is on screen, she is nodding or shaking her head at his decisions. Then we are at the part of the film where he announces he is sick. I hear her sob. On the drive to the theater, I had explained this was actors playing the roles and that it was going to cover some difficult topics. But it is at this moment I realize my TIFU. While we listen to the music, we do not often talk about the artist's personal lives or their current positions on the mortal coil. As the movie ends, it's confirmed how badly this is going when she whispers, "Wait, he's dead?" and starts sobbing. It is one of her favorite stories to tell people when someone brings up a horrible thing their parents did to them. TL. Doctor, I assumed everyone knew Freddie Mercury had died. My daughter, who did not know this fact, found out when we watched Bohemian Rhapsody together at a theater. Lol. My son had the opposite reaction with the Elton John biopic. Wait, he's still alive? It's such a bizarre feeling when you watch someone discover a fact or idea that you just took for granted that it was universal knowledge. Read all the Terry Pratchett novels. Loved them all. Thank you so much for recommending them to me. He is by far my favorite author of all time at the moment. So when's the next book coming out? I can't wait. Quote. Ah. Well. I remember asking my dad why you never heard any new Queen, Mercury songs. He was shocked I did not know he was dead for 10 years by then. We told our son, who was obsessed with the Titanic, all the survivors were rescued. Ah heck lol. I told my mom I wanted to go to a Queen concert when I was 5 in 2003. She said no, because Freddie had died before I was born. Devastating. If that's the worst thing she will bring up, you're a lucky soul. Tears of joy. If you think that's a TIFU. Well, I found out my grandmother was dead after I announced that I wanted to go and meet her one day in my parents' home country. My mum was pretty flippant and just said, "You can't. She's dead," and left it at that. I might have been 8 or so. My mother was terminally ill herself, so God knows what she was thinking. I was 11 when I found out John Lennon had died years before I was even born. I sobbed and sobbed. I feel her pain. Sad. I just watched Mrs. Doubtfire with the kids and have shown them Hook and Jumanji lately. Was just thinking it's not going to be nice when they find out about what happened to Robin. Not that I'll tell them, of course. Long live the Queen. When my child was small, he watched The Labyrinth non-stop. When David Bowie died, I had to explain that The Goblin King was dead. He carried the news article around for probably 2 weeks. I am sure people questioned my parenting, but I was glad he was aware of a good musician. I'll never forget the Christmas Eve when my poor sister-in-law found out the family dog had died months earlier. Even though she visited every Sunday, she didn't really miss him until that night. He was an outside dog and roamed a lot, and asked, "Where is Frisky?" We're all looking at each other like WTF. And finally my horrible Mill says, "We thought you knew he died and just didn't want to talk about it." Actually not true. Mill just didn't give a fuck and forgot to tell her. Ruined Christmas for the poor girl. My first heartbreak as a kid, outside of family stuff, was when Kurt Cobain died. I was being shuffled from home to home as my parents were on a crime spree, and I found my zen in a bleach tape my dad gave me. It was what I locked onto for hope and happiness, and it felt so awful knowing he was gone. I was 10 and not really even aware of death, and I'll never forget standing in my doorway coming to terms with his death and my own death someday. I appreciate it now. It was a learning experience for sure. And your daughter will one day too. It sucks knowing a hero is dead, but that's what really makes you appreciate stuff all the more. Show her Joy Division next, and once she falls in love, put on the song Novelty and break the news about Ian Cold Sweat Smile. Your daughter has excellent taste in musicians. I feel for her though. That's similar to when I was young and figured out that Abbott and Costello were dead. It's always hard to get enthralled as a child, only to figure out there will never be more of that thing you love so much. You think this is a TIFU? Well, it is, but at least it wasn't this. I was at a house party one night. Student accommodation. Some lady knocked on the door about 12 a.m. Asked us to keep it down. Being ignorant and inconsiderate students, lowering the noise didn't last long. It gradually went up. Someone came back. I was told they'd asked us again as someone was very ill next door. It was a year later. I was driving down a side road and saw a door covered in flowers and graffiti to Freddie Mercury. It was a couple of doors away from our student place, and the party was within a few weeks of his death. I never forget the way Freddie's death was broken to me. Someone at school joked by yelling, "Freddie's dead." Quote, "We was talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street at the time. Freddie Mercury died 1 month after Freddie's dead. The final Nightmare was released in the UK. Reminds me of the woman who audibly gasped in the theater at Hamilton when Aaron Burr said, "And me? I'm the damn fool that shot him." Quote. Rest in peace, Freddie Mercury. During the summer holidays, my local cinema often has Disney movies on the big screen for $6 a ticket. If you go to the showings of The Lion King, you're bound to get at least one child who sees the Stampede for the first time. I don't remember the first time I saw it, but I kind of enjoy, in a melancholic way, hearing the "Why isn't he getting up? What? No?" from the audience.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.